Today we're welcoming a best-selling author whose stories have found their way from the page into living rooms everywhere and will fill the studio with the sound of a modern Christmas classic that's become a favorite around the world.
Welcome to 100 Huntley Street, Canada's home for hope, and I am so excited, Joe.
Because it's Friday?
Well,
that's one reason.
Okay, that is one of my favorite days of the week, as you well know.
Yes.
As you well know. But also, we are almost to one of my favorite days of the year. We are so close.
Okay, let me guess. Because Christmas is right around the corner?
No.
No? Okay.
Although I do like Christmas.
Okay, because New Year's is right around the corner.
I do like New Year's. It's a good time to look at your year, but that's not it.
Okay, well, then I give up. Why are you so excited about what's coming up?
Because on Sunday is the first day of winter, and you know what? You know why I love that?
Because snow is coming?
Right? Because you know I don't like winter, right?
No, I know you're not a fan of winter because
Yeah,
you have to
exactly.
drive in from far. So I'm kind of confused of why you're looking forward to
I know.
winter.
So I'm doing everything in the opposites
Okay.
right now because I struggle with darkness like a lot of people do this time of the year.
Oh, yeah.
The long days, you know, going to work in the dark, going home in the dark. But I know if I can just make it to December 21st, which is this Sunday,
Yeah.
every single day after this is going to get brighter and brighter. That gives me so much hope. I hope it's encouraging all of you. Like the days are getting longer.
So that's a coping mechanism, right? It's like
Yes.
if I can make it to that day, I can make it, you know. But the truth is, the stories that we tell ourselves, these things that we do, they get us through difficult times.
It's so true. And actually, you know, February is another thing I'm looking forward to because I hate February. So the sooner we get there, the sooner it's over.
I'm so confused right now.
I have to tell myself these things so that I can get through things with a positive mood.
Okay.
And it actually helps bombarding myself with good news. Like when
Okay.
February's over, March is coming. When March comes, here in Ontario, we start to see the
Yeah,
first signs
yeah.
of spring. So, you know, there is a lot of good news that we want to bombard you with good news today. So one thing that we're going to tell you about,
Yeah.
and particularly for young people or those with families and grandkids.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I'm going to let you tell them.
Yeah. The government has announced what they call the return of the Canada Strong Pass. I don't know if you guys know about this. And during Christmas and New Year's holiday, as well as next summer. So there's a lot of really cool features in this thing.
There is. If you've
Yeah.
never taken advantage of it, now is the time to do so. So it grants free admission to national museums for children aged 17 and under, as well as a 50% discount for young adults 18 to 24 years old.
I didn't know about the museum thing. So like here in Ontario, the Royal Ontario Museum, that would be free?
Yeah, not for you.
Do I look over 17? Yeah, I'm over 17. But, you know, but that's not all. There's a lot more free things. There's free travel on the Via Rail again for 17 and under when you're accompanied by an adult, and a 25% discount for people aged 18 and 24 for the train, and free admission for everyone to Parks Canada. That's kind of cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah, plus a 25% discount on camping fees, you know, if the weather allows where you live, of
Some
course.
people like winter camping. One of my friends does it all the time. So this
God
runs.
bless them.
I know. God bless them.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone.
This runs until January 15th and picks up again next summer. So this could be your motivation to get out of the house, give the kids or grandkids something fun to do with you. And we're always looking for that, right? When you have kids with a lot of energy.
Yeah, well, I love that, and I'm excited that you're excited for Sunday's big Christmas event or the winter event. And, you know, Christmas is just around the corner, and today your guest is going to help us just to kind of slow down and really focus on what the season is about.
Yeah,
That's
Donna,
important.
Donna
right?
VanLiere, oh, it's amazing. She has
Yeah.
written some best-selling books, many that have been made into movies you've likely seen. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that conversation. Don't move. Get ready as we count down to Christmas with uplifting music, inspiring stories, and festive moments that celebrate the true meaning of the season. We're your home for festive hope here on 100 Huntley Street.
The program is designed for one person to have the same mentor throughout. Consistency builds trust. Consistency allows you to not have to explain your situation over and over, and it's as though you're stuck in one place. But you've started with one person, and you can grow with that person. You build a relationship. Discipleship is progressively, over a period of time, becoming more like Jesus. So it's progressively reading the word with someone. It's progressively discussing the scripture. It's progressively praying. So consistency is key in order to build the life of a disciple, in order to build a Christian life. In fact, consistency is key in every aspect of life. So it's not just for walk of faith, but when you see your consistency in life breed success, that's how consistency in walk of faith will see results.
Revival begins with prayer. One person, one call, one heart at a time. Every day, Crossroads Prayer Partners listen, care, and pray with those who feel alone or afraid. We urgently need 150 new prayer partners to meet the growing number of calls for hope across Canada. Be on the front lines of revival where every prayer makes a difference. Visit crossroads.ca/prayer volunteer to get started.
Trauma and shame tried to hold my guest back today from so many good things, but an encounter with a joyful child changed her perspective. Please welcome New York Times bestselling author Donna VanLiere. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Cheryl. It's great to be back.
It's so good to see you. And, you know, we couldn't go any further into this interview without mentioning your books, The Christmas Shoes, The Christmas Blessing, made into a movie with Rob Lowe, both of them. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about them.
Well, the Christmas Shoes was the first novel that I had ever written, so it was amazing that it ended up becoming a movie for CBS. And then CBS picked up the second one, which was The Christmas Blessing, and then all told, there's been 6 of them that have been made. Yeah. So, I mean, that was just a total surprise from the Lord, because it's something I never expected.
He always takes our little bit and he makes it into something bigger than we could ever dream. Now, I want to take you back. What I referenced here as I introduced you, you know, you were 5 years old. You had something happen to you that happens to a lot of people, but most people never, ever talk about it. What happened to you?
Well, I always went across the field to our neighbor's house because we both weren't in kindergarten yet. And so we would play together. He would be at my house or I'd be at his. And we were at his house one day and playing hide and go seek. And I hid, but he didn't find me, but his older brother did. And I knew that what was happening shouldn't be happening, but of course at that age, you know, what do you do? How do you get away from that situation? But I knew enough when I crossed that field again, I knew I wasn't supposed to tell anybody about that. So I didn't tell anybody until I was married, and I told my husband. He was the first person that I ever told about it. It was just the shame that covered me, and for years I thought that was my shame.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was driving down, we live in the Nashville, Tennessee area, and I was driving down a street in Nashville, got stopped at a traffic light, which was outside of a school playground. And there was a little girl there. She was dressed all in pink, and she was just hopping up and down. There wasn't any reason to be hopping, you know. She wasn't on a pogo stick. No one had goosed her from behind. She was just hopping because she was filled with so much joy, as a matter of fact. Another little friend came alongside of her and started hopping with her. And as I drove away from that street light, I thought, now what if that sweet, hopping, innocent little girl went home, went to a neighbor's house, and was molested by that neighbor? How could that sweet, innocent little girl ever blame herself? And it was as if the Holy Spirit just filled that car, and I knew that that was not my shame to carry. Wow. I had been carrying the shame of my molester all those years, and just alone in the car, I just spoke out loud to him. I said, I don't know where you are, but I forgive you. Not because you've asked for it, not because you would even want it, but because I don't want to be in bondage to you any longer.
Wow. And what happened to you when you said that out loud?
It was a total release. It was as if everything in my body wasn't holding on to that anymore. You know, my body, my spirit, my mind, everything just held on to that, and it was gone.
And that's such a common story. I had a friend, I was only the second person she ever told in her life. that secrecy and that shame. It's such a common trap for people. And you're so right. Who would ever blame the victim? Who would ever blame the survivor for that? Now, this was actually affecting your relationship with God in a significant way too. How did it affect that?
Well, for years, my husband and we couldn't get pregnant. And so in my mind, I thought, well, it's because of what happened in that farmhouse. It's because of that horrible situation, because I was bad in that instance, that this is somehow a judgment on me that I was not able to get pregnant. It was ridiculous. I mean, who thinks that way, But we can get caught up in that because the enemy continues to berate us. I mean, he doesn't just whisper. I mean, he berates us. It's like a hammer over our heads, like you did wrong. You're the one who's in the wrong. You did bad. But again, it was just opening the Word and staying in the Word for God to say, this isn't you. I love you. You're my precious child. And there was a verse it's Proverbs or Psalms. I didn't know you were going to ask me that question. So it's in Proverbs or Psalm, but it says that God makes the barren woman the happy mother of children in her home. And that verse just brought me to tears. It was like I knew I was going to be the happy mother of children. And God gave me 3 beautiful children. My 2 girls are from China, and my son's from Guatemala. And I'm the happy mother of children.
Wow, what a journey you've been on. And, that would be enough right there, what you had to battle through and, how you had to come out of agreement with those lies that the enemy tells all of us. He's always waiting at the door. We can't agree. And that's how I think the Bible is so powerful in bringing that shift in perspective. But you also then had to face a diagnosis of a brain disorder. Yes. Tell me about that.
Yes. I had come back from a flight from Alaska because my husband's family lives there. And I thought it was the trip that did it. And my neck kept pulling over my right shoulder. And so it felt like a muscle spasm or something. But it kept happening to the point of where my head was getting locked over my shoulder. For the longest time, I could kind of do a countdown in my head and I could say, okay, 3, 2, 1, and then shift my head to the center of my body again. But then it got to the point I couldn't do that. And I went to my doctor. He looked at me and he said, no, you got to go see a neurologist. So I went there and really without any small talk at all, he said, well, you have a brain disorder. Your brain is sending the wrong signals to your muscles. It's telling opposing muscles to fire up at the same time, like a bicep and tricep. So my brain would say, okay, both of you work at the same time. And in this case, it was telling the muscles in my neck, all of you fire up at the same time and work. And so it twisted my head over my shoulder, and it was just locked in that position. So I was clearly disfigured. Oh. I mean, you couldn't help but notice that there was something wrong with me when people would see me. And people would stop me in the school hallway or at church or grocery store, wherever I was, and ask me about it. Like, ooh, what happened to you? Were you in a car accident? Did you fall? Obviously, something traumatic happened to make my head twist over my shoulder like that. But what was heartbreaking at the time, Cheryl, is that nobody prayed for me. Everybody I ran into who saw me, and those were a lot of people, even at the church that we went to at that time, everybody asked questions. Everybody would give me advice. You need to do this. You need to try that. But nobody prayed for me at that moment. And for the longest time, that made me really sad because we live in the Bible Belt, in Nashville, Tennessee area, supposedly the Bible Belt. And I thought, Lord, why aren't any of your people praying for me? And then after several months, I got really mad and I thought, Lord, why aren't any of your people praying for me? But I took God at his word to pray and to fast because the neurologist said the only way to help it would be to give shots in my neck for the rest of my life, every 3 months, forever. And after he gave the 5th shot, I started to pass out. So we didn't even get to that 6th shot. And as I walked out of the office, I thought, there's no way I can do this for the rest of my life. And as I was driving out of the parking lot, the phone rang, and my husband said, well, what did the doctor say? And I said, well, he said there's something wrong with my brain. And he said, well, we knew that, but what else did he say? But I thought, there's no way I'm going to do this forever. I'm going to take God at his word, and I'm going to fast and pray. But it took me many months to get to that point of where I finally, it was like, I'm not taking it anymore. I'm going to fast and pray. And I did it for 32 days. I did either no food or I did strictly fruits or vegetables. And on day 32, I woke up and I was able to turn my head and my pain was broken in my body.
Wow, it's an amazing story. I love the fact that you did that. And you're continuing to write. You're a prolific author. Your newest book is Looking for Christmas. Now, you really wrote this trying to bring people back to the real meaning of this season. Tell me a little bit about that.
I did. A lot of my other Christmas books are novels, with the exception of The Christmas Journey. That was not a novel. But this one, I really wanted to take people into the places and the people of the Nativity and really dig into those. So we look at Mary, we look at her circumstances, we look at Joseph and the man that he was, Zachariah and Elizabeth, the shepherds, the Magi. We take a look at the manger and the star and Bethlehem and Nazareth and just really dig into them so that people can see that everyone involved in the Nativity story was just like them, just like us. Wow. Just common and ordinary people. But God used them in his extraordinary story, just like he still does today.
That's amazing. I just love that thought, and I agree. It's so true. It's his nature. He looks for the least likely. All the people who are going, God can never use me, that's your qualifier right there.
Yeah.
He loves using people like that. And another point you make here is that, you know, it's the outcasts, the people of society that were not accepted at that time are the people that he involved himself with. What does that teach us today about being inclusive?
Well, that Jesus came for the outcast. I mean, when you think about Jesus and Mary and Joseph, they were true outcasts. There was no place for him to lay his head. Joseph and Mary would have been looked down on for the rest of their lives. Oh, yeah, right, Mary. You got pregnant by the Holy Spirit. Nobody believes that. You know, for the rest of their lives, they would have lived with that scorn wherever they were. So they were outcasts, definitely, in their own society. But Jesus came to draw everybody into himself. He came in such a humble way that he didn't come with a silver spoon in his mouth. He didn't come as a celebrity. Celebrities weren't notified that he had been born. The shepherds were notified. So that's when we look at his birth, and we can't help but be inclusive because the humility that Jesus came with and how he drew everybody to himself, that's what we as believers are supposed to do, because we are salt and light, and his light dwells within us. So the light inside of us should be enough that people say, what is it about you, Cheryl? What do you got going on here? Because there's something happening with you, and I want to know what that is.
So beautiful. It's such a beautifully written book. Looking for Christmas, Donna VanLiere, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for continuing to write such inspiring books.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, friends, we hope that you were inspired by that conversation. And there were so many powerful things that were said. And one of the things that kind of got me at the end, yeah, Cheryl, come on in. She's just finishing up with the interview. And I love, there were so many things that were talked about. But right at the end, she was saying how, Jesus came for the outcasts. And I love that, because who hasn't felt like an outcast sometimes? And it's just a great reminder that he sees us. And he loves us, no matter what. So I hope that you guys really got that in your hearts today.
I always think about that, how people, we disqualify ourselves. Like, God would never use me. God can never use me.
Right.
And yet, if you look at the people that he picked, he always picked the most unlikely.
Yeah.
Right? And that if you feel like you're unlikely, then you are probably the number one candidate that he is looking for. So I hope that's encouraging for you today. And I got to say, Joe, Donna is such a great writer. This book, Looking for Christmas, is so well written. She also has a podcast by the same name, which I think would really help you and those you love immerse yourself into the true meaning of Christmas. This is something you could do as a family, listening to it. You can find that on Spotify or YouTube, same name, Looking for Christmas.
Well, awesome. And actually, this would make a really great Christmas gift right now for yourself or for those who you love. Especially if someone doesn't have a personal relationship with God. She has this wonderful way of explaining how to do that on the back of the book, and you could be a part of someone's experience of finding Christ and receiving the best gift during the season.
That's an amazing Christmas gift. I wanted to read a beautiful excerpt from the book that was so powerful and touching because she's such a fantastic writer. So it says, Mary couldn't comprehend that she would feed bread to the bread of life or help the one dress who would robe her in righteousness. She could not foresee that the tiny hands that would wrap around her fingers as he learned to walk would open the eyes of the blind and heal the diseased, and one day be nailed to a Roman cross. She couldn't grasp that within her womb a little mouth would form that had spoken the world into existence. Think about this, and would grow up to speak the very word of God. She couldn't fathom that the baby's feet that would kick from inside her womb would someday walk up to Calvary's hill to his own execution. She couldn't see what was ahead, like so many of us, and didn't have all the answers, but she said yes to God anyway.
Whoa. I literally was getting goosebumps when you were reading that because, it's so easy to see Jesus in his divinity, but we struggle to see him in his humanity.
That's right.
And that's actually what songwriters Mark Laurie and Buddy Green had in mind when they were thinking about, that incredible hymn, Mary, Did You Know? We're going to hear it right now, but we just want to invite you just to take some time to think about those events during this Christmas season and what it would have been like to live as the people in the Christmas story. So with that in mind, here's Joshua Ali.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day save the nations? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you deliver will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to the blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm the storm with his hands? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels tread? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Oh, Mary, did you know? Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, Mary, did you know? Did you know what was inside you? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, the blind will see, and the deaf would hear, and the dead will live again, and the lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. The blind will see, the deaf would hear, and the dead will live again. Oh, and the lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. So Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule child you're holding is the great I am. It's the great I am. Oh, he is the great I am. He is the great I am. Oh, Jesus, you are the great I am. You are the great I am. Yeah. He is the great I am. He is the great I am. Oh, he is the great I am. He is the great I am. Mary, did you know it's your baby boy? Mary, did you know your baby boy would one day save the nations? Then you know your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb. And the sleeping child you're holding, he's the great I am. Mary, did you know?
Mary, did you know? Wow, like what a question to ask. And you have to wonder, what did Mary think, right? When the angel came and said, listen, of all the people on the planet, he's chosen you. I wonder if she said, me, I'm not worthy. Do you know what's going on in my life? Do you know who I am? He goes, yeah, I know exactly who you are. And we talked at the top of the show about how sometimes the story we tell ourselves, really impacts and affects the way that we behave and how we act in life. And maybe some of you, as we get ready to go into this final weekend before Christmas, maybe you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and you're talking yourself out of doing something incredible because of the lie that you've believed, that you've told yourself. And we just wanted to encourage you before we go into the weekend and remind you of who you really are. Cheryl, who God says to them, you are worthy. You matter so much. And in fact, if you were the only person on this earth, I still would have come for you. Jesus still would have been born. He still would have lived a sinless life. He still would have died on the cross for you. He still would have rose from the dead, and he's still come back for you. That's who you are. That's how much value you have. And don't let this world or anyone in it tell you otherwise. You are valuable.
That's so good, Joe. And we're no longer orphans. Like, we're truly adopted, a son and a daughter of the Most High, the one who created everything. That's your identity. If you need someone to pray with you about this, call our prayer lines, 1-866-273-4444.
Right. Have a great
Happy first day of winter, 2 days.
Thank you for your ongoing support of Crossroads, a supporter-funded nonprofit organization and member of the Canadian Centre for Christian Charities. Thanks to faithful people like you, we are able to continue producing 100 Huntley Street. You can write to Crossroads, P.O. Box 5100, Burlington, Ontario, L7R4M2, or visit crossroads.ca to learn more about our programs.
Hello, I'm Kevin Shepard, CEO of Crossroads and Yes TV. I have some exciting news about what God is doing here, and I want to invite you to join our special community by becoming a monthly member. And here's why you should. Inspiration. Our content uplifts and inspires, and as a monthly partner, you help share the hope of Jesus with so many. Impact. Crossroads is more than media. We provide 1,300 prayer interactions daily, offering comfort and biblical resources, and your membership makes an eternal impact. Global missions. We respond to disasters and partner with NGOs for relief and rebuilding. By joining, you care for those in need. As a Crossroads member, you join like-minded community. You get exclusive content, friendly support. You can attend member events and stay informed. Becoming a member is simple. Choose your monthly level and payment method, and we hope you would join us, make a life-changing difference in people's lives today. Thank you for your commitment to our shared vision.